It started with 16, right?
Hello, and we're live. Welcome to our little chit chat about Big Brother. We were just discussing as we were going live what week this was. We're starting in the middle. We're kind of getting lost, but we think it's 5 with 10 to go, right, guys?
Somewhere in there. It's having that first week of feeds open got me really confused. So I'm not even sure where we are anymore. We're halfway. We're about halfway. That's all I know.
Well,
that's what I got.
They're the jury, which means they have 10 people, right? Or is it 12? Well, 9 voted. The HOH, so there's 11 left right now.
Look at the master of math.
Because the vote was 7-2.
The master of math to replace the Lord of the
Lord of the Libertarian. I'll be the master of math next week.
Or I don't know, maybe the master of math will be the best at all these casino games they're going to play. You never know, right?
Maybe if he gets the points, if he gets the cash, Big Brother bucks. You know, it's like marble. It's like marble money. I get those marble points.
11 people left.
11 people left, right.
Keeping us on our toes. All right. But this is kind of like right this point where there's enough out that you start to forget who. But I wasn't here last week, but you guys had a lively discussion about all that happened. We're back to kicking out the guys this week, though.
About all that happened and a little bit about what didn't happen. But it's fine. Sure. It's fine. We figured it out in the end. Yep, back to the guys, kicking them boys out.
And we had a little righteous anger over the shout-outs in the dining room.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm angry about the shout-outs in the dining room.
I just wonder, like, it gets a little old, and it does feel like it's more than it used to be, or goes on longer or something.
Because they're not getting punished. They're not getting punished for it. It's allowed. The behavior is allowed, so it continues.
But it's awful TV. We don't know any of the people, so it's not like we go, oh, that's adorable.
I'm sure for the people who are getting the shout-outs, it's amazing for them. But yeah, for us, it's like, okay, next vote. Let's go.
For the rest of us, not so much.
Okay, but you know what? To be fair, the shout-outs don't bother me that much because I can kind of understand that they miss their family, they miss their friends. What I don't like are the pre-planned like little boogies they do in that little hallway thing.
Did I not?
You said exactly that last week.
That's why me and Chrissy we're Big Brother BFFs, because we get annoyed by the same business.
And I would have my dance totally choreographed. I'd be ready.
Oh, God.
I've been working on it all week.
I just think part. I wouldn't, me neither. If somebody came in, they're like, ooh, so I'm going after you. So what are we gonna do? I'd be like, nothing. Like, I don't know. Maybe you might get a high five, but that's about it.
What was this that they did?
Kylan
did that.
You're like, don't touch me. I don't know.
Because who is it that he passed?
I don't know, but isn't that Wakanda Forever? I don't know. Isn't that what that is?
That's what I was thinking. It was like the Wakanda Forever thing, but
that's right.
But I thought it was Claire that he passed.
Not to let my nerd go, but I think.
Okay, but the thing is that Claire would be all over that because she's awesome. She's always dropping sweet references to, all of the fantastical world, as she has often referred to Brittany as Moaning Myrtle, and all sorts of other fun things.
Oh man, she was entirely too happy to not be on the block. I mean, I get it, but it was like, pump it, just take it down, pump the brakes a little bit. Yeah,
she's all or nothing all the time. That girl,
right? What did we think about some of the alliance shenanigans going on this week?
Well, the previously predicted cookout explosion happened even earlier than I would have anticipated.
Yeah, and you know what?
And it's all because Tiffany. I don't even understand why it helps her game.
I'm gonna lay this out as I see it. This is how I see it.
Okay.
1, Tiffany may push her cards a little bit too hard, and I said right from the beginning, Tiffany's biggest problem when she talks to people with personalities like Azah in the game, she plays with her heart and emotion, and she communicates with emotion. And she is a little over emotional sometimes about certain things in comparison to who she's speaking with. Tiffany is not about emotions and feelings. Tiffany is about, here's the job. It's really easy. It's A, B, and C. Let's do that. We're doing that. It doesn't make any sense to worry and do all these other things. The path is here. Let's just do that. That's where her gameplay sucks.
But there's a real division now in the cookout. I mean, Derek can clearly not stand her.
No.
And I mean, he called her that bitch at least 10 times.
This is where the problem gets a little bit funky because Tiffany often will talk to the cameras, kind of like lay out what she's thinking. And I don't know how many times she has stopped and been like, I can't do that. Because to her, the cookout isn't just an alliance. She recognizes this is the first all-black alliance in the United States reality television that's ever existed. And to her, she knows that it's way bigger than just her game. She's had a few conversations with Hannah about how hard it is because she knows how she wants to play. She sees the path ahead of her, but she always has to stop and consider this alliance because she does not want to go back on it. She doesn't want to blow the alliance up. It is Tiffany's poor communication skills have caused a few problems, but truly she is not really the one driving in a wedge. It's Big D.
Well, no, he clearly was looking for a reason to be pissed off.
And I'm, you know what? He might be a fantastic human being, but in the game, what we see on CBS is basically exactly what we see at any point in time the feeds are on. He's laying, he's talking, and that's his game. That's it. That's what he brings to the table. So this whole alliance that they've been kind of like teetering back and forth with, you'll see that she talks to Xavier about it. And Xavier's like, yeah, it's way better for my game if Christian stays. So half of the cookout's like, yeah, we could keep him. The other half's like, no. But here's where the alliances get screwy, is because that half of that cookout, or the quarter of the cookout, is still being more loyal to a team that's done now. They don't have it. That team's done, and they're kind of still sticking with that's their, truth be told, that I think is their real alliance.
What do you mean, the royal?
But in fairness, Tiffany tried to go around them by bringing Brittany in, and then she didn't need their votes.
But here's the kicker. This is where everything goes crazy. So on the live feeds, it gets a little bit intense. It starts to escalate, and boom, feeds go down. We did not see what happened. There was some arguments made after the scene where we saw where Brittany came in and they followed. Christian was this close. He was this close to staying, because after tempers calmed down and Tiffany and Brittany actually did get a chance to talk together, Brittany would have been for it. She was all for getting rid of Espy and keeping Christian. It just only didn't happen because Tiffany was like, no, I went and made everybody mad in the house, and we just got to chill. Let's just let it ride out and keep the peace.
But
Brittany was going to do it.
No, I'm really glad
that all for it.
Well, yeah, but then it would have been on, don't you think? Because then Derek F, the cookout would have been dead. Derek F and Azah would have broke.
I mean, here's the thing. It kind of is. Like, I think they'll keep the pieces together because there's a bigger, you know what I mean? There's a bigger meaning to the whole thing.
It's bigger than them.
Right. But as far as like real truth and loyalty goes.
But then that's on them, because I think Tiffany plays smartly. Okay, yeah, I can like you as a person, and I might not want to see you go home, but this is a game. And if they're working together as the cookout, and they're all working for the game, then it doesn't matter if you send Brittany home. It doesn't matter if you send Christian home. They all have to go, right?
And that's the biggest thing. But Tiffany realized as long as we've got Christian and we've got Derek X going after each other, the rest of us are walking right to the end.
But why does Big D care whether Christian stays or not? If you stay solid
he really, honestly, I don't think he has his game planned out quite enough to recognize where the pros and cons are on that. Big D's issue was the fact that Christian came in, and this was not even Tiffany's screw up. It was Christian's screw up, because when he came in and was said, you need to come out here and talk to Tiffany, he handled that so poorly, and it was his own game. He lost his game in that very moment, because otherwise he'd be here. Yeah. He'd have stayed. Brittany would have worked with Tiffany. They had the numbers. They had the numbers. They were this close.
There didn't need to be any drama at all. When Xavier says that, well, keeping Christians here is good for my game, but it's not if your cookout alliance is strong. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't, to me. I honestly can, from where I'm sitting, I don't think it matters more or less if it's Derek X or Christian. Either one of them is going to be a challenge against your alliance, but at the end, Christian and Alyssa worked with Tiffany a lot more than Derek X would. And so it makes sense that and Xavier as well, because him and Xavier are buddies. So he would have worked with more of them. Derek X is clearly going to play his, and I love him. It would have meant backstabbing him, not the cookout. It would have been Derek X that got backstabbed in all of this.
Well, honestly, in my opinion, Derek X should be in the cookout as a minority. And the fact that they should too. He's awesome. And they didn't ask him to be in there, that's kind of on them, isn't it? What, like, you're going to pull all the people of color together except for the one.
But also,
except for the poor Asian guy.
We've got to call it out too, as much as we adore Derek X and we like him and he's a rootable guy. He is you want to root for him. Why did he go when he's thinking, I think I might have to backdoor Christian? I'm going to go tell his number one ally.
What was that? That was bad gameplay.
That was not good.
I wondered if he was doing it because he thought he's going to do it anyway. And the problem is he gave them chances to talk to him before he just did it, right? But he wasn't being to be swayed. But then does that make them more upset because they weren't able to sway him before? I mean, he's kind of, by letting them know ahead of time that they can kind of prepare for it. I understand, but I wonder if that's where he's coming from. Like, maybe she can help me.
Done it, like if he would.
When did he actually do it, Jamie? Do you know?
He did it before he made the nominations, and
I understand, but was it a day before? Was it?
I don't remember. It wasn't right before. It was not right before. He gave them time.
That gives them time to scheme. Why would you do that?
The problem that he presented for himself more than anything, I think, there's some people are going to try to argue and try to talk him out of it. The problem he really presented when he did that was, for somebody who has a good read on the game and playing, why would you go to the number one person that you are trying to backdoor and bring this up? It's just bad gameplay. He didn't go to somebody in the alliance. He went to his showmans and said,
the only reason you would do it is if you hope that they'll go talk to them and kind of help them, ease into it so they don't freak out. Maybe.
Do you think maybe it was just a touch of I don't want anyone to be mad at me?
Oh, it could be. It could be he realized she'd be on the jury.
But that's okay. But that's where somebody like Xavier doesn't vote to get rid of Christian. He votes to get rid of Sarah Beth because he knows he needs Alyssa to keep working with him. That's where you get that. You know what I mean? You might say, listen, he's going up because I've got 90% of the house telling me that I have to take this shot. Christian has to go. That if it was up to them, they would get rid of me over Christian. But since Christian, anything, you lie, you say anything, and you can get that aligned. We've seen it so many times. Showmance goes. You can work with the remaining person.
Did Xavier know the way the house was going to vote?
The original lineup before it started getting flippity floppity. Yeah, he had
at the very end. Did he know that?
Yeah,
Tiffany...
it was all cleared up. I mean,
so did he throw that vote, and he's going to try to lay it off on Tiffany now?
No, he's just
Then why do it?
Because he wants Alyssa to know that she can work with him. He needs Alyssa. He has to have, one, he's got a really big crush on Alyssa, I'll be honest. Two, really? he has to have Alicia because he needs her. He had Christian. He had Christian in his pocket. He needs to replace that. So he's doing whatever he can because he knows it's coming to the time where he's going to need those numbers. He just wants her to work with him and have a soft place to land after she's felt betrayed. And if you're the only person, one of the only one or two people that vote, then you're the good guy. You're the one that she can trust. So I don't think there was any real shenanigans, trying to throw a hinky vote. It really was just a setup to get her on his side going forward.
But this season, it seems like there's nobody who's really a jerk, or you know what I mean. There's so
Big
many
D kind of is.
Who is? Well, I think he's just getting bored and getting a little stir crazy. I think that's what it is. They don't have enough drama. Now he's got to try and have.
And it's so hard too because Tiffany, who knows the game, Claire, who knows the game, they know what kind of drama is going to actually work in their favor and be good gameplay and good TV. And Big D doesn't watch the show, hasn't played the show, so he's like, eh. And also, bless her heart, she's just like, I can't be mean, and she forgets what game she's playing. She just often forgets what game she's playing, and she's making herself a sitting target.
Real easy. Because she could float right down to the Final Four because nobody sees her as a threat. So she's one you'd take along.
But I don't see how Alyssa should feel, as long as they're able to talk to her. If she's intelligent, there's no reason for her to feel betrayed. Because it's like, Alyssa, the only person that Christian was loyal to was you. Like, I'm not beating him. And let's be honest, head to head, you're not beating him. Like, nobody, come on. So, he had to go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your little boyfriend had to go, but he had to go.
But that's a great thing. That's a great thing to use, patching it up going forward. I think in a game like Big Brother, there's certain times that you have to prepare people for things. But most of the time it's take the bike, apologize later. You know what I mean? Like
it's all business and none of it's personal, right?
Right.
Just gotta do it right. Yeah.
And now that they've got this jury forming, and I understand they brought the veto ceremony over into this episode, but I want to see the goodbye messages. It's irritating me that I'm not seeing them as much, but maybe now that we're in jury, they'll be a little bit more on top of that, because those goodbye messages will tell. For instance, when you have a season with Paul, both times, Paul ruled that house. He had his hand on every single move. He should have won both times, but his jury management was horrible, and his goodbye messages were horrible. And those are the last thing a jury member sees before they walk into jury and start stepping away from the game. If you cannot give a good goodbye message that tells them what you had your hand in, how sorry you were that it affected their game, and how wonderful a person they are. It's a rule.
Coming out of the game.
There's two kinds of jury voters. There's the ones, somebody could be a complete incendiary jerk and win and plot and cheat the house, and everyone goes, I got to respect his game. There are people who will vote for him even if they loathe him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there's the people that try to
But you see, there are those people that are they're those people that do play a game, and
Right.
they are dirty and feisty, and they play this game where everyone gets upset about it. But how they handle those people walking out the door, and how they handle themselves and say, this game is, I did this, and this for this purpose. None of it's personal. This is why. If you cannot give that, if you're just teasing when they walk out the door, or you're just going, it's going to be awesome to hang with you and we're all done and I see you out of here, that gives nobody any idea of your gameplay. And that's where you get these wishy-washy and bitter juries. You have to give them a reason to realize that they weren't duped. They were duped by the best.
But you know
But some people don't care. They're going to vote for who they like. They're not. They could care less. Somebody could have played the best game of Big Brother in history, and they'll vote for their friend.
Because you have two kinds of players. You have the players that play with their heart, and those that play with their head. And so when they're in the jury house, they think the same way. It's either with their head or their heart. Right. So you have to think when you're giving that message who you're speaking to. Now, if it's someone who plays with their heart, then maybe that, you know what, I'm gonna miss you so much. We had so much fun hanging out together. Maybe those are the right messages to give those people.
For certain people, they are. If you have a good understanding of who you're playing with, they're like, if I was in this house right now and I helped to get Asa out, my message to her would be like, it has been so wonderful getting to know you. I'm so grateful I had someone like you in the house to keep me company. Yeah. I am so excited to see you when we get out of here. That is the kind of message. Exactly. You but if I gave that same message to Hannah, if I gave that same message to Xavier, if I gave that same message to Tiffany, they'd all be like,
no. Right. No. So I mean, that can work with some people, but you have to change it up. You have to be ready. And that's
understanding the psychology of people and their feelings. If you are somebody who is not afraid to take a risk and you can understand the psychology and emotional plunges of humans, that's where you get your best players. We learned that Christian might get 57% wins in the comps that he's been a part of. But in that 1 second where he went and said, Brittany, you need to go talk to Tiffany. 0% understanding of human psychology. He lost his game in that very second. Right. Nothing leading up to it, nothing after that was going to save it. In that 1 second, he lost the game.
No.
If you would have handled that differently and Brittany was able to get out of that room without the triage of, coming through, she would have had a 5-second conversation with Tiffany. It would have been like, yeah, you think? Okay, all right, I'm in. Let's do it. And that'd have been it. But you have to know who you're talking to. And you have to know who's around.
Boston Rob on Survivor was a perfect example of that. When somebody was going home, man, he knew who was going home and he worked them and he knew what they needed to hear. And they walked out thinking Rob was the greatest guy who ever walked the earth. And here he was throwing them out.
Yep. And he knows, he would know. I mean, obviously there came a time where he played enough where people were like, you're pulling a Boston Rob because you're not letting me go away from you.
Right.
You can always be so close to everybody. But it works for him. And it would work for most people one time. maybe after you see their cards, you're not going to fall for it again. But you have to understand
falling for it with him.
People want to feel important. People want to feel like they're the smartest one in the room. And people want to feel like their vote matters more than the person sitting next to them. If you go in and you single one person out and say, and especially if you are paying attention to the dynamics, he would have recognized, because Big D is not quiet about his feelings about people. The second they walk out of a room, he's da-da-da-da-da. So if anyone was listening, he would know you don't pull this person's ally and then be like, go talk to that one person that you don't get to go. The person you don't like, you don't get to go while your ally goes and talks to them. Ridiculous. So regardless of all of Christian's shenanigans and crazy hair and Weird Al Yankovic glasses and his shiny pants from this week.
He was 100% wearing makeup today. Did you guys notice that this week? He's been wearing
nail polish. He had nail polish on.
Right? We're so bored that now they're putting makeup on him.
But guys, I'm sorry. We have to just recognize that the man was wearing shiny pants and not as a punishment. That wasn't a punishment outfit. He chose that. He brought that outfit with him from home. That's part of his personal wardrobe.
I can't understand why he made it past week 1. I loathe the man. I'm glad he's gone. I hope he never ever appears for the final episode again.
But I think he was just overall of the players this season, he might have been from the get-go my least favorite.
Me too.
Yeah. He didn't bring. It's not it's not because I liked him or disliked him. He just didn't bring any extreme either way. So, I'm sure he's probably not. He seems like he actually is a pretty nice guy. So I wish him well, and I will probably join his Twitter feed and see what he has to say. Of course, the second he starts I don't know, if he starts Alyssa-ing this and Alyssa-ing that, then maybe not. Also, the kiss goodbye. Goodbye. Okay, guys, I'm seriously, I don't care. Kiss or goodbye. I don't care about that. But let's not pretend that this is some new revelation, Julie. Maybe if you tuned in and watched the show you host once in a while, you would see that this is all the time. The last week is all kissy, snuggly, to the point that Derek X offered them the HOH room on their last night. And Alyssa's like, why? Kirsten's like, really? Yeah, why? Why would he do that? So, do you think they'll date afterwards? Do you think it's a thing, or do you think
he wants to? I don't think she's as into it as he is.
I mean, it's been what? 5 weeks. 5 weeks. So he spent 5 weeks with her and has feelings for her or whatever. We don't know how long she's going to stay. And there's other guys in there. I mean, who knows?
Who knows where to go? Who knows? Well, and the funny thing is with Tiffany and her trying to flip it to try to keep Christian and get rid of Sarah Beth. Okay, so there's a little more behind all of this in the last week, and this was started last week.
Oh, hang on. Before we leave Christian, Randy points out that he looks a little like Kit Harington, Jon Snow. And I'm like, yeah, maybe when he was dead.
No.
Except for maybe not at all.
Exactly. We all disagree.
It's the hair. It's very deceiving, Randy. It's just very deceiving. It's the curly locks.
It's just the curly hair, right? Right, Randy? Yeah. I get it.
You just see the curly hair and then go blind to everything else because it's very much there.
Just you got to moisturize your curls a lot.
You too could not look like Kit Harington.
No, I could not. That is not happening. Maybe 30 years ago.
Maybe, perhaps. So, okay.
He's probably short too. So
on our little showmance conversations here, we've got this other thing that's happening. You brought it up before in the past where we've got Sarah Beth and Kyland are snuggling all the time. I don't know. I don't really see much into it. I just think that they're friends and they are just comfortable snuggling, honestly. However, Tiffany, my girl Tiffany, she's like, this is something to be used. So she's been planting it in everyone's head for the last 2 weeks that Sarah Beth doesn't actually have a girlfriend. Like, this person doesn't exist. It's a lie. It's part of her lie of being in here. Like, I think her and Kylan actually know each other outside of the house. So this little tiny thing this is where she's so brilliant, because she'll start out with SB and Kylan, they're together a lot. Do you notice they're together a lot, Claire? Yeah, they are a lot. Yeah, would it be crazy if she didn't even have a girlfriend? It was all a lie. Yeah, that would be nuts. And then 3 days later, people are like, I don't even think she has a girlfriend.
Could she conceivably have lied about that? I mean, just to make herself seem more interesting. I'm not saying about the girlfriend. I'm saying about being bisexual.
She could have lied to people in the house, sure, but she wouldn't have lied to the viewers who know her game. You know, like when we get our little, you know, the package in the beginning where we learn about each person, there would have been no point in that to lie whatsoever.
Right.
It's really just a really comfortable relationship between her and Kyland, and they're alone and they don't have other people. And that's really, I think, all it is. But Tiffany knows enough about getting people stirred up. So if you can get suspicions, I mean, look at Sarah Beth. She's very nice. She's chill. She's smart. She's kind of paying attention. It makes Tiffany a little bit nervous. How are we going to get somebody that everybody likes? How are we going to get her on the negative side of this pool? We're going to start planting little possibilities that she's deceiving us. These little things. And so this went on for like a good week and a half. So I think that half the house
rub off on Kyland too?
But Kyland's not really working with Tiffany. He's kind of been separating himself from Tiffany for a while. So it does not.
They're so dumb.
Yeah. If she pushes it too much, it could bite her in the butt for sure. But I think she's used it to its limit at this point, but it's definitely got people. So this whole thing where she was able to almost get half the house to go, yep, let's flip, let's keep Christian. It wouldn't have happened probably nearly so easy, but she's worked a week and a half on getting these people to not completely trust the person that seems the most trustworthy in the entire house. So she plays loud. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes she's playing when she doesn't need to play, but she's still not. She's got so much going on that they can't really, unless it's just the Tiffany show every week. And it's not, because there's other really great players. So they've got their work cut out for them because everybody's got a little game going on. But
yeah, but I think she's overplayed it. I think people are starting to go, and Derek is being open about it. But I think Kyland may think the same thing.
Well, Kyland isn't really even. I mean, when you're watching the live feeds, it's pretty clear that Kyland is kind of pulling away from the Tiffany train. That's been obvious for
and maybe Xavier, because you wouldn't know what the guy's doing. I would never play poker with that man because I don't know what he's ever thinking.
Xavier is a dangerous player.
Yep,
he is a dangerous player.
He talks to everybody and shares nothing.
And that's why I was like texting you guys last night about the live feeds, because they had just like, everyone had blown up. Everyone was upset. And I was like, and in comes Xavier and just like, okay, we're going to do a house meeting. And so like Twitter's going off. Oh my God, there's going to be a house meeting. And it starts, and they all just start playing a game of Mafia. Like Derek X has got him in there playing a game of Mafia. Xavier's being friends with everybody, getting everyone to cool down. And he's so great because it was his idea as much as it was Tiffany's idea to flip those votes this week. It was every bit as much as his idea.
But he got no blame for it.
His name is on nobody's lips about it, not even Tiffany's. You need to look out for him because he's smooth.
For the cookout, it's best for them. I still think it's best for them to stay together. But clearly, through that group, if they do stay together, so they have to start cannibalizing each other. Tiffany will be on the bottom then.
If the edit is any indication, it'll splinter next week because Derek's pissed. And just because she came around, I think he's done with it. I think he thinks he's on the bottom of that alliance. And I think he thinks he has to shake it up.
Well, Derek X needs to recognize.
No, Derek F, not X.
Oh, yeah, Derek F needs to just.
But I think he's going to be the destruction of the cookout.
He absolutely is. He already has been. He's the destruction of the two different times I was super pumped for about what was going to go down this week on Big Brother. And in walks Derek F with his sweet walk and totally goes, I'm like, hey, Brent, we're going to blindside you, Brent. We're going to backdoor you, Brent. You know, it started there.
He was upset if Christian went home and he couldn't watch Christian working out no more.
Yeah, he's been bumming since Frenchie left. I'm gonna be honest, he has dreams about him. That boy is in love with Frenchie.
About Frenchie? Dude, that was like 10 weeks ago.
I know, but he still talks about him, and he just had it this week. He was like, I had this dream about him. Like, no.
That's super weird. I'm sorry. That's super weird.
I think he's been bitter since week 1.
You knew the guy for like 3 days. Calm down. He's married, all right?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
He's
Big
going
D.
too far.
Big
Well,
D.
he was certainly leering at Kylan too when they were doing the crotch shot.
Okay, but like, let's be honest. How could you not leer at all of them?
I mean, that was insane. It was like a 5-minute crotch shot. It was like, really?
Oh my god! And it was like, that was the veto you did not want to be in, because oh my god, I just would have been like, I got to do this how many more times? Yeah, no, I'm out. I mean, I didn't do that.
There's so many gifts that are going to be made out of these movements, and oh my god!
After all of that, how were they walking the next day?
They were talking about how hard it was. They were like, instantly. It was instantly difficult. Like they, when they were discussing it. I don't know. Even the first one. Can we just talk about the first one where they had to like bump their, their hip up against it? I'd have been like 3 in, and I'd have been on the ground.
Well, that was Claire. She's like, this sucks, and I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Right?
But the head thing was the worst. The head thing, I can't believe somebody didn't like torque their neck a little bit.
I thought Brittany was awesome in that when she did her little Hulk roar.
I laughed so hard. I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh God, just let her win. After that, just let her have the win.
She destroyed Alyssa. She won by
give her the game. Give her the game. Give her the whole game.
She was moving her head so fast the dang helmet couldn't keep up. It was like, wait, where are you going?
Screaming, and then I was like, her retelling of the whole thing was so hilarious.
Her primal scream.
Yeah, that was good. That was good fun. They made up for not doing like bloop noises when they fell off the wall last week. So.
Speaking of noises, can we talk about the happy birthday? What intern just threw that in? Every time Sarah Beth mentioned her birthday week, there was this thing went, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Yeah, it was really weird. But why did they make her like a psycho did you catch that? And then she's like laying in bed and did the little rhyme and like looked at the camera like, why are they making her psychotic? What's going on?
I thought that was awesome. The row your boat thing. I'm gonna make a ringtone out of that.
Maybe there are Big Brother ghosts in the house now. You don't know. She could be talking to somebody else.
I think they're like, we clearly need to bring Sarah Beth into the picture more. So I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, I caught all of the birthday things. So it was her birthday, and it was Tiffany's.
Her birthday week.
Yeah, and it was Tiffany's. Like last week.
She didn't get a week apparently.
Because her birthday, Tiffany's birthday was on last week's HOH because she said, say happy birthday to me, Julie. Like, wish me a happy birthday. So we have had, and then it was somebody's birthday right before that one too. So
was it last year? Was it last year that the birthdays were like the kiss of death, like bad luck? No?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
It seemed like we had a lot of birthdays one season where they were bad luck. Because none of them were, somebody's kid's birthday they got voted up. Never mind. That was several seasons ago.
You mean Rockstar? Not on my daughter's birthday. Not on my daughter's birthday. Yeah, as I said, you got to get on Twitter and wish your daughter a happy birthday every year. It's a rule now. So we've got these bucks, these Big Brother bucks coming in. What do we?
I'm going to vote right now. Does anyone remember the number?
Okay, so
here's
my thing on this. So,
I think it's 97979, right?
Oh, wait. We have to decide. Is voting for the person so they have the most bucks a good thing for them or a bad thing? I think it's a bad thing for them.
It depends on what they get.
Well, whatever. It doesn't matter what they get. Everyone who has less bucks than them is going to be pissed at them.
Right. Who's going to get the least votes?
Who's going to be smart enough to give one person in their alliance their bucks?
That's coming.
Ooh.
Remember when they did this with Survivor? Start giving each other those tokens, and you could get the bigger turnout. So
I voted for Azza.
Oh, you did?
Yep. Thanks for voting. I can vote 10 times. 10
I like
times.
like them being upset because she took the $5,000 this week, and it's like, yeah, because if she would have taken the veto, someone would have just taken that right back from her. So she knew she wasn't going to keep it.
And like,
she was number 2 out.
Eric's face the whole time, you know, like when he
doesn't think she ain't gonna. Yes, she does. She just knows she ain't going to get it if she takes it now.
But he's not dumb. That's so smart. Even if he was just doing it to actually, because he's a decent human, it's so smart going forward, because he can be like, yeah, you have $5,000 in your pocket thanks to me.
True, but I mean, I didn't blame her.
I put you on the block, but I gave you $5,000 and kept you from going home.
And he had to be the Lord of the Latrine because of that.
That was pretty funny.
I'm sorry. I thought that was hilarious. And I was just sitting there dying laughing when they first unveiled that.
I don't know. I was pretty down with the jackass of clubs. Like, make me a sandwich, please. A good one. And then make me another one tomorrow.
I liked Claire when they were playing Mafia, or I don't know, they were sitting around talking. Again, I keep telling you, she's my spirit animal, because they're like, oh, you over there in the tiara. And she's like, tiara wizard hat combination, thank you. Yep, you're my best friend. I know it. You don't know it yet, but I do. Yeah, they've got good.
Rose asking, can we? And I'm assuming that she's asking, can we, about can they pool their money? Probably.
I think they can. I think they could. I don't know. They might make it that they can't, but I mean, pooling your money together would make for some interesting storylines. I just can't see where they wouldn't.
I just feel like giving the most money to the people that we don't want to see go, like the ones we want to see go home, would be super awesome, because it's going to be something like, I don't know, they get like some sort of perk and that everyone else is going to be ticked off about, right? They get like a letter from home, or they get.
But this is under the assumption, if you truly believe that in a world where our votes are actually being counted, or is this a way for production to stick its hand in and push forward the narrative they want? So are we really getting, see, we won't know until you see somebody that's like, you know, is probably one of the least popular ones. If they get it, hard to believe.
Well, see, this is where Twitter has to step in right now and mess with this. Yep. And just be like, everybody send all your votes to this person.
Where's all the GameStop stock buyers? Come on, come in here, help us with this. I think that when they lay out
recount, and then we need another recount,
and then we need an audit. We need an audit after the recount.
Yeah. I think that when all the bucks are given out and they're all looking at, well, I only have 2 or whatever. Oh, I have 10. It's gonna put a target, because the people who get the most bucks, won't they, because they know America's voting on it, right? Won't they then get some false sense in their head?
So the key is, you don't want to be the top dollar, but maybe the second tier is the sweet spot.
Right in the middle,
There you go.
Because if you're one of the ones that gets the most, you get a false sense of security that America likes you. But then everyone who didn't get the most is thinking, oh crap, America likes you. Therefore, you might be winning this game. They know more than we do. You might be doing better than we think you are. You got to go now.
You're totally right. But it is interesting with this particular cast, if that would actually, okay, could somebody like Big D, if somebody got way more money than he did, he'd be like, I see you. We need to get rid of you.
I just said a vote for him too.
But if you have, somebody, somebody like, and it's not Kyland or it's not Derek X who gets it, and they see somebody got more money than them, they'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't vote them off because America's going to hate me. So depending on the personality, we actually have some really like nice humans in the house who do tend to forget that they can be like turd nuggets and it's okay. Like, it's all right.
I want the people that we like, I want them to stay solidly in the middle. Yeah. Brittany's not going to get Harlene votes, and I bet you she cries. That's my prediction.
I think America likes Brittany. I don't think the Big Brother
I think
hardcore
America's
likes Brittany,
entirely-
but I think the casual viewer likes her.
I think that America likes Alyssa and Hannah and Derek X and Kyland.
I think Hannah's getting an awful at it.
She is, because she's like, she knows what she's doing. She knows what
But
she's doing.
I feel like she gets no screen time.
But maybe that's a good thing because they can't really edit knowing who's going to win. They don't know. It's not like Survivor.
Right. And that does show that she's playing that middle ground enough where the cameras aren't turned to her too much.
And that's not horrible. That's not horrible.
But I feel like all I know,
she's just kind of in the middle.
I feel like all I know about her is she was willing to fake having to go to the bathroom to see Derek. Okay.
So cute. I wish she would have just told him. Like, so I just thought you and I could come in here and talk some more.
They are so funny. They're both so like, I don't think it's just a personality thing of being shy. I mean, there's definitely some of that, but they're both very aware that they're on national television. Yeah. They're very aware of it. And you know what? I'm not hating on that. It's nice to see somebody be so aware that, like, you know, there's a life after this. So,
yeah, there will be no big kiss with like that. Like
I don't think so either. And it's funny because, like, they call each other.
I mean, there might be a kiss, but it won't be what we saw tonight.
Right.
On the live feeds, here's a question about that kiss. On the live feeds, have they kissed on live feeds, or are they always under the covers?
No, they do. They'll be in separate rooms, and they usually will have the covers up, but they've done more than kiss on live feeds. They just don't in front of the other house guests. They're always in a room by themselves.
I thought that was kind of like, he's leaving. You're voted out. Don't freaking kiss me now. I don't know. I didn't like it because I felt like it was too showy and it was too like
attention grabby. Well,
I mean,
yeah, I think he knows that he's more into her than she's into him, and she was trying to make an impression.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah,
that seemed like a Hail Mary from a dude's perspective. Like, I'm not going. This ain't going the way I want it to. So,
you know what? Some people are very, very private, and they're not into PDA at all. So to like, without,
she seemed pretty pleased with it.
Well, and there's been a lot of times where like he'll like crack a joke about her or something, and she's like, I really don't think that she's as serious as he is. I don't think that she's like, I think she likes him, obviously, but I think he's a little bit more smitten than she is. But with the Derek X and Hannah, I think that they're both very much smitten with each other, like super smitten with each other. But again, they're very aware of national television. They're both a little bit shy. Well, I think they both have a little bit of like maybe some like old fashioned courting values. But the great thing is going to be at some point, Hannah or Derek X's their Big Brother lives are going to be on the line. And I guarantee you that's when we get that edit with the two of them. Well, that's when we're going to see Hannah.
They can just take it slow and be really nice to each other because I haven't, in a couple of years, he has a nice girl he can date. So it's not a bad thing.
Speaking of nice guys of Big Brother, I read last week that Ian is going to be a part of the American backgammon team at the International Backgammon Competition in Germany.
That's awesome.
And he's going to have a booster seat and everything.
Yes. Oh, Ian. I heart him.
But with Derek X,
you go be the best backgammoner you can be.
With Derek X and Hannah, I think they're playing the game like, I know my mom and my dad and my grandmother are watching this.
That's what I mean. They're totally.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, and they don't want to embarrass their families. And
do you think that comes from being of a more reserved culture? Because
they're younger than most.
And I feel like some people come on the show and they're so used to just living their life out loud and just being all as big as they can be. And
especially the influencers, the people that are already influencers before they aspiring influencers.
Right. And so I don't know. I just feel like they just both have like more respect for.
I think that I think they're two people that are really invested in their education and their career, and they're very self-aware for the most part.
Is Lena 19? Is that how old she is?
Yeah, she's very young. Yes, like
Is she
she's
19?
definitely
I thought she was older than 19.
No, she's 19 or 20. I think she's 19. I think that's what it was, because she's the youngest one. Well, she was born. She was born the first year of the show, so first season. Like she's that many old, and we're that many old. We don't need.
I'm more than that many old.
Right. Yeah, we do.
Just by this much. By this much.
But still, I might think right now that of overall brains, cuteness, and niceness, Derek X might be the ultimate Big Brother player. Should be the total package. My daughter and I are really enjoying watching him play. And I'm just saying, if Derek X stumbles upon this, she's underage now, but in a couple of years, like I said, you can take her on a date.
Any other season,
Except
Derek X would have to be the favorite.
Except for not what?
Not in that fishing hat. He looks super adorable in everything he wears, except for the fishing hat.
He's adorbs.
He is. He's very sweet.
He's very cute.
There's just all sorts of pretty people in there this year. There really is.
But not jerks about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
but they're not. There's a lot of pretty people. Okay, there's a lot of pretty people in the house this year, but he's one of the only pretty people that would still be pretty if he wasn't pretty.
Yeah, that's fair. Very good.
Yes. That's what it is. Absolutely.
Well, I think Ozza's probably sweet.
I think
in real life.
Yeah, I think she's definitely got some sweet sides to her. She really does, and she's just gorgeous. It's just, again, she plays with her heart and her emotions, and unfortunately, that's.
But they did show her and X together. So, what do you think? Is that something that like that's a connection?
Imagine the children those two could have.
I know they'd be gorgeous. I don't know. What I'm picking up is that I don't think that it's reciprocated. Like, I don't think that Xavier's got any sort of middle school crush on her. I think that he could, say, "Oh, she's beautiful" and all this, but I don't think he has any feels. He's kind of into Alyssa.
You know what? Yeah, which is dumb. She's over there kissing this other guy, like whatever. Just don't.
He knows she's down.
He's
so that's
kissing
half the
this
battle.
other guy in your bed.
Yeah, right. And you walked in. Tacky. That's like some college. Well, I guess they are kind of young. That's
that young life. That's that young life I hear about.
Yeah. Boundaries, guys. Boundaries. I'm glad that there's not so many showmances this season.
Same.
So. Yeah, because it's just, tonight when he was on the block to go home and, Eric comes in and says, "What's he so upset about? They're just going to put him over on Love Island." I was like, probably. Send those people over there. They want to run around with their shirts on, working out and hanging with girls. Go over there. Yeah,
Not Survivor Island, though. Not Survivor Island. Jeff doesn't like him.
Right, no.
Just Love Island. He'd do great over there. He can go have fun.
You guys noticed tonight? So usually for the live shows, it's like the more dressy. It's the more like, fancy night of the week for them, right? Did you notice that Julie was wearing pants tonight? And they were colored jeans. They weren't even slacks. Not even slacks. She might not even have had heels on.
I think she's phoning it in.
Yeah, she's out.
And they were kind of high-waisted jeans. I think she might have had mom jeans on.
Mom jeans are back. Why? They're back.
So she wasn't trying to be all like standing so perfect and stuff. I was like, wow, I don't know if someone's been training her. They're trying to make her more human. They've upgraded her programming. Not quite sure what's wrong with the chick. She was looking kind of like a normal. Her hair was down. She didn't look so taut.
Her AI chip has been a little bit further
right?
invested. she has been a little bit, she has like a little rapport with Brittany, you notice that, like she doesn't like really have the rapport convo during voting with like anyone else, but like Brittany gets on there and they, a little playback with each other.
Brittany was all dressed up tonight.
Brittany's lashes. Come on.
She did. But she doesn't give compliments to everyone. You know what I mean? Like it's like, I'm going to use Brittany as the pull to humanity and people will believe I am not a robot. That's what it is.
Yeah.
After the show, Brittany gave everybody this week doing her damnedest to win that veto, girl.
I wonder if Randy is right on what he just put in the chat. He said that the BB finale will be at 10 p.m. right after the Survivor premiere. They're
doing it afterwards instead of before? Yeah, could
be.
They do always do it on the same night, but
they hate it.
So I wonder if it would be like a 2-hour Survivor or 1 hour Survivor. Okay. 10 p.m. is pretty late though, because we do the final vote and then the cast come back together and do the little reunion.
And that's a Wednesday night. That makes for
22nd.
No, CBS, don't do this to us. How are we gonna do the finale and the? Oh my God!
You can do it. You can do it.
Survivor.
You gotta like. You gotta like focus in on what. Just focus in what Brittany did for us this week, Christy. And then when it's time, just sit there on the
screen. Well, we'll have to record Big Brother that night, and then we'll have to do Survivor because we usually do the next day for Survivor because some people can't watch it that night.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be a fun-filled.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Action-packed. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll be fine. It'll just be 2 nights in a row recording that week.
You got this. You got this. It's not on your birthday.
They're not going to vote me out. I'm fine. I'm good. Yeah.
Fine.
So the other thing that I noticed about Julie was her goodbye. Did anybody catch her goodbye? What she said?
Yeah, I don't know. What was it? The justice? Did she say justice and justice?
Yeah, she's justice.
What justice? Are they going to court? Is her husband in court? Is that what's happening?
Why else would you bring up justice? What does that have to do with anything that? But she was like love something and justice.
Yeah, I don't know.
You see people's houses; they have like live, life, love. Or live, laugh, love. She's like, love something, justice.
Well, it's like I was saying last week. It's like we're starting to get these like little things. Do you remember like Saturday morning cartoons, and we had like anything from the Ninja Turtles to Captain Planet. Like in the 90s, the Saturday morning block. At the end of every animated show, there'd be some message for the kids to take. Hold close.
Right. The more you know,
I feel like
right?
she's just I think she's just pulling from those. Like somewhere there's like a printed out list that she's pulled from like CBS morning cartoon blocks.
Or she's got that the poster hanging up behind her of the cat, like holding on.
Hang in there. Like next week she's gonna be like, remember, I'm not fat, I'm fluffy.
She's won this Scholastic Book Fair a little too many times. She's getting all that stuff. She's got like the fuzzy pencil too. Like she's going full on human.
I'm so happy for her.
Maybe it was a justice for Brittany thing. Maybe she's down with the cause.
Maybe. Everybody should be.
Did she her dad step down today?
Just to see if anybody says anything.
Any updates on that?
No.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
No. You gotta look for yourself. Can't trust the eyes that we hire because they give us false hopes and dreams.
That's weird. Maybe there'll be something tomorrow. We'll have to look tomorrow.
It might be an overnight. They might be doing like an overnight comment.
No, Christy, did you know last week we were fake spoiled?
Fake spoiled.
Yeah, somebody came and gave us a spoiler that wasn't true. And we went on and on about it for like 5 minutes before we checked out.
We were told that Tiffany won the wall last week as we were in the wall competition was happening. We were misled by a certain somebody.
Who's not here tonight, or at least if he is, he's quiet.
That's why he couldn't come back and show his face tonight. Yeah, you're on to you, JP.
I see how it is.
It wasn't. Oh, you think?
He just pulled it out and was like, yeah, let's see what they have. What do you guys have to think about that, huh?
That feels like something he would be totally capable of. Okay, let's just make a deal right now that if we all have got to keep it on the DL. But I think we need to flip the votes because we need to get JP out of here. because he's going into the feeds and pretending to be people that aren't really people.
He's throwing hinky information out there, trying to
hinky votes.
He was pretending to be Jack in the comments last week. Because I didn't realize that if he went on, he came up as Crazy Hank.
Yeah, if I comment in the comments, it'll say crack.
Yes, no, I know that, but I went on this whole rant about Jack's toothbrush, which made no sense when it wasn't Jack.
You're like, oh, Jack's joined us. Hey,
yeah, exactly.
We're all capable of making mistakes, and it's justice. It's about justice.
Justice. It's all about justice.
Julie doesn't make mistakes.
Never.
It's just programming errors. It's not.
She's perfection.
She's pretty perfect.
She was made that
No,
way.
I thought she looked like a normal, approachable person today instead of some sort of.
I like when she has the casual look. I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of when she wears an off the shoulder number because it doesn't suit her personality. I don't think
it doesn't suit the show either. It's like, what are you trying to do?
It just doesn't. There's no flow there. I like when she has a little bit dressed casual.
Yeah.
She wears it. Yeah. She wears a heel very nicely, but it's not necessary. She's.
Oh, be one of us, Julie. Be one of us.
Yeah.
But she can walk in heels. That's like her redeeming quality, in my view.
Well, she can hit
Not only can she walk in heels, she can walk in heels, turn to the correct camera, and butt first from any angle.
She is the queen of butt first.
Exactly. Yes. That Julie and all of her butt first.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, justice. It's about justice.
Justice for her butt first. All right.
Twists.
So who do we want to win HOH next week?
I think, oh man, that's a tough one. Do you think Claire's going to be in danger now that she's at the end of her safety? I think she's still okay.
I want her to win. I want her to win HOH.
I am very curious to see how it would go if she were to get that.
Because I'm pretty sure she sniffed out what's going on.
And I think that if Alyssa were to win it, I think Tiffany and Xavier have made themselves safe in that situation. But if Alyssa gets it, I think that we could see Big D on the block if Alyssa got it.
What if Sarah Beth wins?
Tiffany's going on the block for sure.
For sure, yeah.
I can't imagine a world where Sarah Beth does not put Tiffany on the block.
With Big D, you said that there's been comments already prior weeks about how he doesn't really do much during the day. He's just kind of like...
Yeah, he just chills and chatters, yeah.
People were making comments about that because like...
But it doesn't... Yeah, he doesn't.
You know, you gotta.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, everyone. I mean, what else do they have to do? Exercise? Yeah, it's a lot of sit around and chatter for sure. Right. But there's like people who sit around and chatter, and then there's people who sit around and chatter.
He's around.
Yeah. So he's sleeping. We saw that he's sleeping all the time. Like he's like just living someplace rent free for a while, and bitching about the neighbors. This is what he's doing.
Getting the free rent.
That damn Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, he's just chilling out. I really like on the set. Have we noticed how we've got like Dr. Will's balcony up there? I love that they use that now during these comps so they can view and see. That's fun. It's just a new thing.
Meets Dr. Will in a bathrobe.
Well, yeah.
Which was weird. my only problem with that was they hyped it like, oh, he's going to be on next week. And then it was literally him coming out, introducing the thing. And then that was like it. I was like,
yeah,
what?
you forget where he goes like this, though.
If he, right.
That's
but
important. That's an important part of the game.
If you're going to be the neighbor, then you have to be the neighbor. Mr. Furley was in more than one episode.
I know. Even if we just even if you pulled a Wilson and we just, just come, you could chase after him with a tennis racket or something. I don't know. Sounds good to me.
Seems like they've gotten that under control.
Oh, there was 2 weeks ago, there was an airplane that flew and it had initials on the back of it. And it didn't necessarily have anything to do with the Big Brother crew. But I remember I think just Sarah Beth started getting, it started a little mini tiff in the house because somebody saw it and then Sarah Beth got paranoid about it and somebody wouldn't tell them what they saw. I don't know. It was just some dumb thing and it wasn't even about them, I'm sure.
Right, but they're trying to somehow make it well, what does it mean? Let's decipher this. I mean, it's got to be about us. No, it doesn't have to be. You're filming in Los Angeles. There's more than just you guys out there. I'm just saying.
There's just a few more people that live there. Just a few
people that, might be getting a message in the sky. I mean,
could possibly. I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance.
Maybe it was JP. Maybe he's running for governor to replace
totally
Gavin
JP.
Newsom.
That's why
JP for governor.
It'll be JP versus Caitlyn Jenner. Is that what it's going to be?
It's be JP for governor.
Governor.
There's no R. No R in JP's land. There's no R's. It's governor.
Governor. Yeah, I want to see someone who hasn't already had HOH be HOH. I hope it's nobody.
Yeah, I'd like to see somebody else. I'm really, okay. You've heard me go off. You've heard me go off about Brittany a million times, but also, how interesting would a Brittany HOH be at this point? That could be really fun because would she get HOH-itis and get super yeah about everything or how would she? Would she get pushed around?
People she thinks she needs to pay back too.
That's what I mean.
I don't think that Brittany really knows what's going on behind the scenes at all. In the house. She has no clue because all she's thinking is a pawn because everybody likes me. So yeah, I think she would put up Xavier and Kylan, or I mean, I don't know. What would she do? Put up Derek?
Boy, Xavier and Kylan would be an interesting block.
It'd make for a fun veto comp, that's for sure. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just saying Brittany has got to make it. We have to have her make it to at least OTEV. Because the idea of her digging through whatever sort of goofy set that they make, looking for those names, climbing up that rope.
What if you brought OTEV?
Yep. Brittany and OTEV is just the stuff dreams are made of.
Screaming at OTEV what she's got.
And you could see her knocking somebody out of the way to get to the last seat. One person goes flying.
That she could bust out all of her sweet karate moves, And I love it too because when we saw the clip of her doing, if you've seen those clips of her doing all of her karate stuff, and it's oh man, that girl with nunchucks, do not get in her way. That energy is for real. So I'm just imagining her nunchucking people out of the way to get up that rope, and there'll be six people will be sent out to the, in an ambulance.
Production's trying to figure out how to make the things look like nunchucks. How do we take the thing we need to look for and hook it together on a rope with another thing? How do we do that?
Yes. Do you see? How my goals have completely changed of what I want this season to be. That's all.
You just want
Brittany's got to take them all.
She's
got to take them all. Brittany has got to T-Rex the group and just wipe them out.
She's Kool-Aid Man,
right
through the door, right to the wall. Kool-Aid.
Just saying. That's the thing. If you're gonna be loud and obnoxious and enthusiastic, you better be so loud and enthusiastic and obnoxious that it's amusing to me because that whole middle part is just really uncomfortable and yucky. I don't like it.
You didn't think she was amusing in the contest? In the HO? Oh, I thought she was adorable. She was trying so hard.
She kind of, I don't know. I know people that I am not.
And of course, I had been spoiled. So, when she won by
Right.
one twice, I knew she wasn't,
I knew she was getting it, but like, that's the thing. You know how like nutty she went at the end and
Yeah.
she was like willing to die for that veto? That's what I'm talking about. Go all the way there. Go all the way there. Anything else up to that is
100%.
uncomfortable. All the way there.
All right.
I'm talking like beast mode cowboy, dying for salt and pepper, all the way there. That's what I
Okay, so you know what? Maybe I do want her to win OHOH. And if you won HOH, that would be smart for Tiffany then to get in her ear and be like, you know what? Maybe we should take out Derek F.
And it would give some time.
That would
as long as they don't.
But that wouldn't be the
Because
best
Brittany
move.
and Oz are close.
No, but it might
That
be
could
the
be
thing.
dangerous.
If you take the naysayer out of the cookout, does the cookout then become tighter back again? Does it?
Sometimes that's the thing. You have to be really careful when it's a game of numbers, but we've seen it before. We've seen it where it's backfired in any show that, boils down to alliance members. We've seen it backfire, but we've also seen sometimes where it's insanely necessary because the whole reason why this tight-knit group can't work together is because of one squeaky wheel. So is he squeaky enough that he needs to go? Or does somebody like, say, Xavier need to come in and be like, listen, just
dude,
you're playing a little too hard with your opinion. Like, come talk to me. I want to listen to anything you have to say, but be careful how you are saying it because you're stirring up trouble in the alliance. Yeah. And I think Xavier's about the only one that could say it to him without him like getting, doing clap back because, nobody wants to hear like you're playing your game dumb, stop talking. Nobody wants to hear that.
And I get that for some of them, Tiffany's whatever, but Tiffany's older. She's a mom.
Yep.
She has some life experiences they don't have. And I would hope that they would kind of respect that a little bit. You know what I mean? Instead of thinking that, she might be just trying to help your group. Just maybe listen to her. She's not always wrong.
Right. And I think, but see, here's the thing. Tiffany's game for as bright and on top of things as she is, there's little nuances that she misses. And if she doesn't recognize that Claire's the one catching those for her, her game might be toast because truth be told, Claire has been like her PR team, damage control before there's damage.
So does that mean that Claire is using Tiffany to put Tiffany out front so she can kind of be here?
I don't actually think that is a conscious directive, but a lucky side effect of the relationship they formed. I think she recognizes it as a good thing, but I don't ever think that at any point in time it's been used to steer anything. There might come a time where she has to.
I think Claire's playing a long game. I don't think Claire has tried in an HOH contest yet.
Nope.
And she's just sort of floating along. And I think when she turns it on, it's going to be like shock and awe. And
I hope that we're not disappointed. I really hope we're not disappointed. I want to see her just fly through the end. I would love to see that for her.
Yeah. My friend Chrissy in Maryland just said that she thinks Tiffany's getting too emotional in the game. And Chrissy knows because she's a OG Big Brother fan. She's the one who got me watching the show.
She's making a little bit of moves. It's kind of like you said. She's a little bit older, a little bit wiser. She's a mom. She understands. But the downfall to having all of that is understanding that just because the largest portion of this group is younger than you and you fall into mom habits of telling them this is how it's gonna be.
Just
There's no
I say.
Just do what I say is not going to work for them. And that's the first thing that Derek was laying out and said, you're not my mom. So that becomes dangerous. But as someone like Claire, when she can talk things out ahead of time, when she's not just reacting from her gut, when she kind of plans things and talks things out with Claire always goes, okay, so after we say this, what do we do next? Claire's always got the what's next. And there's so many times where Tiffany doesn't think past, okay, what's next? Claire reminds her, you need step B after step A. So the two of them together are a dynamic team, but
yeah.
they're
Are they
not
loyal to
together
if
in the
Claire
cookout.
were to win HOH, isn't the smart move for her then Kylan and Xavier or Kylan and Derek X and the other being the replacement, and you send home a physical threat? Because, and you know, if she knows about the cookout, she doesn't want it to stay together because then she can't win.
I don't think that she really knows it.
Broke them up?
Huh?
I don't think that Claire really knows it. I don't think Claire has
I don't see how you could
direct
live in that house 24/7 and not at
You-
least have the thought cross your mind.
It obviously is, but I don't think that Claire recognizes that this alliance is a solid alliance that you are not included in, and we have no intention of you being in the final with us, kind of thing. I think she sees it's kind of muddy waters, because think about this. You have the royal flush and you have the cookout, but then you still have these team people who are like still in their head. They're in this team, even though they don't have an alliance. They didn't agree to a final three.
But the royal flush is gone now.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
right. So these alliances, and that's kind of a funny thing too, because it's like a running joke with them where it's like, we don't say alliance. We don't say alliance. It's like a grouping of people and we all kind of have the same directive, but it's not an alliance. So, which is really funny to me, because I'm like, wow, that is definitely a new generation way of handling it.
right.
You know, that we're not going to label it. We all know we have this similar directive. So where that's going to lead them, I think whatever happens in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have a very clear view of either Tiffany is going to have to step away from her alliance and work with Claire, or she's going to have to come forward with Claire. And I think that's going to be Tiffany's hardest time, is not going to be getting rid of Derek X or Xavier or Kylan or any of people in the cookout. It's going to be when she has to break free from them to honor what her and Claire have, or break free of Claire. Because to be able to do all of that at once, to keep all of that at once, is going to be really difficult, which is part of the reason why getting rid of Christian this week would have been beneficial for her and Claire's game, or not getting rid of Christian, I'm sorry, because they could have taken each other out. She may not have had to make the choice between the cookout or Christian or Derek X or Al, because she has become good friends with a small portion of these people she feels really loyal to, but that's not her alliance, and that's what's driving her crazy, because she knows her alliance is bigger than what she is in the game. But she's like, man, if I get a chance to come back in this house and play it the way I want.
Are that dedicated to it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that Big D is, and I don't think that Asa is. She might be. She just might be guilty by association because she's always with Big D. I just haven't heard her talk about it as much, but
is Xavier really? I mean, is this more a vehicle for him to get ahead in the game, or is it
both? I absolutely think it's both.
I feel like for Xavier and for Kylan, it's like legit. They really want, because they know that America's watching them. Look what we could do. You know, we have power together, and it's very. But silly
at the same time, it also makes complete sense for us to work together and get me to the end.
Right. And let's be good role models and show how we can work together. We don't have to.
Right.
Yeah, but if you're Xavier, you don't want Kylan to anywhere near the block with you at the end.
I would say yes on one hand, but I don't know if Xavier sees that yet. I think Xavier is very confident in his ability to go up against anyone in the final two and lay out his case. It's what he does.
I just don't think anybody goes with Kylan, they lose, in my opinion.
I would have said that 2 weeks ago. I don't know that that's
naturally so likable.
Not that people dislike him, but I don't think he's quite as shiny as he was before.
He's not. He's really not. And a large portion of that is one, having to smooth everything over is an endearing
Mhm.
quality and makes you a good person, but it's probably really
Yes,
difficult to manage living in close quarters all the time. Because sometimes
Yeah.
you just want to be pissed for a minute, and it's nothing more than
Yeah,
that,
just like,
Right.
you know?
yeah, exactly.
And two, his relationship with Sarah Beth and the work that Tiffany's put in and getting people questioning it. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. His relationship with Tiffany, with Sarah Beth, because anytime you see a guy and a girl getting close in the game, you start to go like, especially if one of them's in your alliance or one of
yeah, because you
them,
go, I can't
you're
go
like,
to the end with this person because if they win, they're going to take them no matter what. I'm always the bottom of the rank in this trio.
Right.
Well, Tiffany said it. Tiffany realizes it. She's said that she was on the bottom of the group, right? So she's not going to let that stand, stuff like that. So yeah, I think.
You think she thinks she's on the bottom of the cookout?
She said something like that, right? That she was on the bottom of the group.
But do you think she is?
Yeah, it depends on what day of the week it is.
I think because of her and Big D, like what was going on this week with them, it's like they kind of, like you had said earlier, it was kind of putting a wedge in that group.
Right.
Just because
but here's another thing to just throw in there. I don't know how much of this we'll get to see. Tiffany gets fired up for sure. Big D gets fired up. Everyone in there has the capability of getting fired up. But the thing is when Tiffany gets fired up, except for Xavier, when Tiffany gets fired up, she can get pulled back down from where she's fired up and be like, "You're right. I just need to calm down." And she will own it instantly. Be like, "There's no need for this. I was getting hot bothered about it. I apologize. I shouldn't have said it like that."
But that's maturity, right?
Not all the time, but most of the time she can dial it back and go, wait. Like, I need to stop and rewind, and I'm sorry. That's like with the Christian thing, when she voted today, when she voted, did she go, yeah, I'm a Christian? She's all like, nope, we're going to vote, because she just like changed, like, all right, fine, I'll get on board.
But the point is then, if you're going to do that in the end, why do all the damage?
That's where she messes up. She just has to be careful.
But it was this week. She hasn't been emotional before this. She's
yeah, she had. She had a fit because people didn't say good morning.
Well,
that wasn't being emotional. That was just she was just having a bitchy moment. I mean, I yelled at my kids and my husband 4 times today because they said good morning too loud.
Well, I
haven't voted to evict them.
Well, out loud you have.
You can be emotional but not play the game emotionally. Right. You know what I mean? So she was realizing that when Ozzy did not want them to put Brittany up again, Ozzy was having a big fit about it. It was like, but that's what's best for our game. Right. All of us, you included. Right. And she wasn't like Tiffany. They were like,
I think that's where Tiffany, she makes sense most of the time. She makes sense, but it gets off-putting is because she's like, she sees it so clearly and she's like, no. And most of the time, I think she's right most of the time. So I think that when she kind of is off kilter and doesn't have Claire going, hey, wait a minute, what about this?
Yeah.
She still believes that she's totally right. And she's not giving anyone but Claire the space to tell her she's not right.
Because this week,
that's the problem.
Emotional about Christian. Was he really worth it for her to get all like that? Like of all the people, really? I don't know.
It wasn't about Christian. It was about Sarah Beth. We kept hearing Christian, but it wasn't about saving Christian. It was about getting rid of Sarah Beth.
Like he has planted those seeds. And
but I don't see how Sarah Beth hurts her game.
Well, and that's everybody has the Achilles heel, right? Like everyone has it.
Because what if she pulls Kyland away from them?
Well, she already has.
Well, but the point of the matter is, if they would have voted her out, that would have done it for sure.
Yes, but
yes and no. Kyland would have wanted to still work with everybody. He wouldn't have had Sarah Beth. He would have come back to his alliance.
I don't know. I think he goes right to Derek and forms a new alliance.
Think so?
Yep.
Maybe. Depends on how much he wants to fix it.
No, because he'd be like, I can't trust these folks. We had a plan. They didn't do it. They backstabbed me.
They're all at the point of I can't trust anyone.
Well, when you say them, this is our group. It's us, not her. So
Right.
we have to know you're with us because we're the group. So we
Right.
had to get rid of her. I'm sorry. Just like we
I
had to
think-
get rid of this person, or just like, you know.
And the funny kind of thing is that like last week when we saw Tiffany talking about we all need to have one other person outside of this group, we have to have our pair. If you look at all of these pairs, I truly believe when it comes to real loyalty, I think everyone's actually real loyal to that pair more than they are
Right.
the alliance, because the
Mhm.
alliance has turned into something that isn't about them. It's not about getting them to the end
They need to
anymore.
knock it off, because seriously, when the time comes and the group, so like for Tiffany and Claire, like you said, if the 6 of them, they get to the point and it's like, well, sorry, Tiff, it's time for your pair to go.
Right.
And you know, and you get rid of a Sarah Beth and you say to the other person, it's like, but we didn't vote you out. We voted them out.
Right.
Okay, we could have voted you, but no, because you're in our group. And it's just that you just have to keep it here.
And that's
Yeah,
where this is where when you have a group of people that are smart, active in gameplay, and get along for such a large portion of the game. That's what I love about you. You don't want to have a humongous alliance because it always falls apart before the
Right.
end.
You can't
But if you
manage
get a
it.
five-ish person alliance, you can get right there at the final stretch and then watch them go after it. But the key has always been the key. And Enzo was the first guy to pull it off.
The meow.
Yeah,
meow.
yeah.
The Meow Meow got this team together, and the brigade was loyal to the end with the final 4.
Right.
They need to have a 4.
Within
If
the
they do not
cookout, I
knock
can't
out-
believe there's not a sub-alliance.
That's what I
formed.
mean. They have to knock out the squeaky wheels and have the
So I think
4 if they're going to make it to the end.
Now, if you're
So if
Xavier,
this is-
you love Derek F making all that noise because it keeps the focus off
Gotta
you.
go. Yeah. Because he'll be one of the squeaky wheels to go. And then who else do you get rid of?
Tiffany is a big target. Kyland is a big target, but I think Tiffany is coy enough and sly enough to wiggle her way out of it.
I'm not so sure. I think
you get rid of a
I think she
guy.
can find herself on the block real soon.
Oh, I think she'll find herself on the block. I will, without a doubt. I think she can get away with not being voted out. I just think she's planted enough seeds. It just depends on who rallies for her within her alliance. If they're the ones putting her on the block, she's likely going to be toast.
Yeah.
But if anyone else puts her on the block,
they might
I
keep
could
her.
see Big D taking a hit at her, going, okay, well, I think we should vote her out. But I don't think it'll stick. I don't think it'll stick.
Well, he'd get Ozza for sure. And I can't read Kyland where that's concerned. He might get him.
But here's the thing, too, with Ozza, and I hate to say it, yes, they've had their little, moments at each other, but CBS is overblowing it massively. They have little snarky moments, but they are not against each other in the house. It is drama being stirred for the sake of drama.
It's why Tiffany has to walk mom zone, and instead of being in the mom zone, she needs to be big sis zone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Then you're the fun big sister instead of the mom. It's like it comes off as totally different.
See, and that's another thing you don't get from our CBS edits throughout the week because there's just not enough hours in the day. Tiffany is fun and she is funny and she is on stage all the time. She's got them laughing. She will demean herself for a joke. So she's not she can wind up really tight and get too wound up in the focus of the game, but she can dial it back. She can laugh at herself. She can crack jokes with Kylan about I was being such a bitch to you this morning. She's got it. It's just she has to be careful about Big D. I think Big D is going to be a real thorn, and Sarah Beth. The two of them are going to be.
Well, maybe they'll go
and she's paid for it with Sarah Beth. I mean, she's asked for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She has laid that out flat. I mean, if Sarah Beth puts her targets on, you can't blame her. It is.
Big D, I think, is looking for a fight with her for whatever the reason, because he seems to take the smallest thing and blow it way up with her.
Yes. Yes, he does. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Again, can Tiffany make it to the end? Ooh, I don't know. She's her cards are so shining so big and bright. I don't know if she can, but she's really fun to watch, and if she can pull it off, that's the one thing. Nobody thought Dan Giesling could make it to the end the second time around either, and he found a way to do it. And man, she studies him, So we'll see. Maybe she can pull something out. We don't know.
So don't forget, you can vote this week.
Vote.
I already voted twice. I'm going to vote again.
You better stop telling me who your votes are, David, because I'll just go in and I'll vote against your vote and your vote won't count.
Well, what do you guys think is the best strategy?
Look at y'all voting. Who you voting for?
Give all the money to Brittany.
I'm not voting just to annoy Jamie Joe.
You give all your votes to Brittany. You let that girl get to the end. I want to see her. I told you, carnage.
10 times you can vote.
Yeah, 10 times. Well, and I think that there's multiple weeks or something too, because they're not doing it just 1 week, right? Didn't she said 3?
I don't know. I was probably just staring at her clothes.
That's what I mean. Sometimes she puts me in a trance, and then I forget what I'm doing.
Yeah. Sorry, Julie. All right, so don't forget to vote. However we think that's going to work. I think it'd be great to put the target on some people. That'd be kind of fun. We'll have to see. Not even a clue of what the HOH is, right?
No idea. No idea.
Uh-oh.
We'll see.
And the Lord of Latrine is probably about that time, isn't it?
I have been the Iron Man of the podcast with the Latrine. I am on my second drink, and I'm fine.
Way to go.
I could go into serious podcast length at this point and be fine.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. We talked a lot. I missed talking to you guys last week. Sorry I wasn't here, but I did actually have kind of a good reason not to be here. We kept it down low, but we got married last week. So
that is so awesome.
Congratulations. Yeah. And you didn't wash away afterwards, which is double bonus.
We didn't. No. So we did a little elopement. It was our anniversary. So
that's awesome.
Where did you go?
So, to our house.
Oh.
The kids went somewhere else. But we kept it very hush hush. Only the kids were there because in our home state, minors can be your witness. They don't have to be there. So my kids got to sign the forms. It was kind of nice. Anyway, that's why I wasn't here. But we were keeping it on the down low, so I didn't really say anything. So guys,
now I got to take back all the crappy things I said about you missing the podcast. And JP's really going to feel bad.
The amount of times that my family was like, "You're not recording tonight, right?" I'm like, "No." You're not recording, right? No. Didn't even watch the eviction episode. Sorry, I was busy doing other things. But,
that's all right. You had important things to do.
It was important stuff. So anyway,
that
was my thanks. That was my big news.
That's very exciting. Well, much congratulations.
Thanks.
Now, next time you leave, it better be for as equally as an important reason and for good things too.
Yeah, so. So really set the bar high for taking a week off.
Yeah.
Why is JP not here? I don't think he's not going to.
JP, he had to go. He had to go to dinner with his mother. He had to have dinner with his mother.
He's lying. I think he's getting a pedicure.
It's just 2 weeks ago when he was supposed to have dinner with his dad.
Yeah, and whatever. He's at home
JP's living the life, man. He's got a big life to lead. He's probably out there going after that bum attorney. That's probably what's happening. Probably got a
what was his name? Steven something or no? Steven C or something. Christy, you got to go back and watch last week. We got a little carried away.
Well, I might have to do that. I was just thinking about him just laying on the neighbor's couch. That was what.
Yep.
He's probably sitting on somebody's veranda with the police threatening to arrest him because he's trespassing. You should have been mine. JP had a contract on a house fall through. That he was very bitter last week.
Oh.
Yeah, he was angry.
I thought he just moved.
He was
getting ready to.
Up, like ready to leave his place, and it fell through.
It was the place where he was planning to move to fell through?
And he had already sold his place.
Yeah, it was a tough time. And like a champ, he still came in, did the show, had a few laughs, impersonated a few jacks.
I understand. You know what? It's not a joke to be homeless. We understand, JP. We're sorry. No more jokes.
We get it. We're angry with the attorney too. It's okay.
I'm making jokes.
You're set up.
He'd make jokes if it was me.
Oh man. Yeah, he might be just a little stressed out. Oh, all right. Well, I'll go back and listen to that or watch last week's. Sorry.
You're all like, oh, poor JP, and then you're gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, JP.
Nope.
Mister? No, you won't. He is fine.
He was.
I mean, he's JP, but he was fine.
What could be so bad? All right. Well, cool. So, anything else, guys?
Nope. I just am gonna sit tight and find out who we get for the HOH. Fingers crossed for Brittany. Are we all crossing our fingers for Brittany HOH?
I think Brittany would be fun. I think Claire would be fun.
Claire would be awesome.
Those are the two I'm going for. That's who I'm voting for on HOH.
I mean, Sarah Beth would be fun, but not with her in her current situation with Tiffy.
Right,
no.
Right.
So now I would have said last week, yes. This week,
I haven't guessed.
Christy, I forgot. I have one more thing.
What?
Melissa, Ryan, Alex, I miss and love y'all. Yes, it's bad podcasting and bad TV. I'm doing it every week until they stop it.
The worst things are the goodbyes, which I get, but the dances in the hallway, and the trifecta for the annoyance of eviction night is oh, Julie, you look stunning tonight. As always.
I wish somebody just walk out and go, Julie, you look kind of average.
But this year,
you look at her face.
Just like when he comes up, be like, wow, you are not even trying anymore, are you?
They're not, but it used to be they would super kiss her butt. They're not super butt kissing this year. So because let's just keep it like realistic.
Casual, friendly.
Just to be like, Julie, you have an amazing plastic surgeon. Just saying.
For real. And she'll be like, I do. I actually
do. And I'm not saying that I'm not bagging on the plastic surgeon, but she has. That's not natural.
And she will straight up be like, I do. I have a very talented surgeon.
She does.
She won't deny it.
Yeah. Anyway. All righty, guys. Well, stay tuned for what happens next week. We'll be back again at our normal time, 8:30, 9:30 Eastern.
Maybe we'll have JP with us. Maybe not.
Maybe not. I mean, you have to tune in to find out. That's all. Anyway, all right, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.